So in the 7th and 8th grade, Mr. Holmgren, who was my basketball coach, used to yell at me all the time. He's like my favorite all-time coach. Get your head up. Get your head up. He used to call me, so probably none of you guys know my maiden name was Lockheed, like the aircraft, only it was spelled differently, so I don't have millions of dollars. He used to call me Lockheed the Kid, Lockheed the Kid, Lockheed the Kid, get your head up, get your head up. All during the game, head up! And he was so mad. And I loved that man. I could shoot the ball so well. In fact, when I was in the 7th grade, I remember being like 12 years old and hitting 24 free throws in a row. I was a good shooter, and I was really good at handling the ball. I was good at defense. I was good at stealing the ball. I was good at faking, but I couldn't keep my head up. So I was short. I'm short, right? I don't look like a basketball player. And so it was so important as a guard, because I was short. The guard is like the quarterback. It was so important that I see what I'm doing and that I have my head up. But I was so afraid of taking my eyes off the ball that even though I was good at all these other little things, dribbling and shooting and passing, it was worthless if I couldn't get my stinking head up. So, our game, coaching, looking up is like inviting. So we can be good at lots of other things about the business. We can be good at our graphics, like we had a little thread about today, and we can be good at, we can have long hours all day to put on Facebook. We can be good at drinking our shake. We can be good at doing a home workout. We can be good at our transformation. We can be good at personal development. We can be good at leading a team and mentoring coaches. But if we're not inviting, we don't have our head up. And no matter how good we are at all the moving parts, we're not able to put them together. So I'll come back to that at the end when I conclude. Who loves TED Talks? You guys all know who TED Talks is, right? Okay. So you probably, those of you that talk to me somewhat regularly, probably have heard more than you want to hear about this book, Talk Like TED. It has been, short of the Compound Effect, which was like, the Compound Effect was like my virginity coach personal development book. So like, I don't know that anything will ever do more for my business than the Compound Effect, because it was the first one to open my eyes up to the long haul and the importance of the small little things we do. But short of that, this book has been the biggest game changer for me. It has helped me to reimagine the way I see myself as a leader and as a communicator. The book has really taught me that if we can't inspire people with our products, it doesn't matter, and our programs and what we have to offer, it doesn't matter how good they are. This book, so while it's talking about the big stage, the TED Talk stage, it's really about communicating and making an impact in the way we communicate in the world, whether that's me as a coach, me as a master trainer, me as a wife, me as a group fitness instructor. So it's blown me away. So I'm gonna dive in. Daniel Pink, who's a New York Times bestselling author, wrote a book called To Sell is Human. And he basically says we are all in sales now. We are all in sales. So this morning I taught Insanity and Cycle, and I've gotten to know this girl because she's come for 3 weeks in a row, and she was 300 pounds, and now she's 200 pounds. Awesome chick. And she brought a friend today. She brought a friend. The girl's name was Melissa. And I'm helping Melissa get fit to her bike, get set up correctly to her bike. And Melissa says to me right off the bat, she's like, I'm not joining. She's like, I came on Friday, so she took someone else's class, came on Friday, loved it, loved it. And her like best friend comes and loves it. And she's like, I'm not joining because it's $30 a month. And they want like 100 and I don't know what down. They want it down, whatever you call it. I'm not in the membership sales department, so I don't know what it's called. It's called a processing and enrollment fee or something. So I was like, after class, I mean, she loved it. She was like rocking it. And after class, I was like, Melissa, like, I know I just met you, but we're talking about $1 a day. We're talking about $1 a day for you to, $30 a month is what they quoted you, right? Right. So you absolutely love this workout and you have a best friend that comes. This would change the quality of your life. It's $1 a day. And so I was selling, but there was nothing in it for me. I just believe in it. And I was in it for her. So it was really easy for me to pitch it. Nothing in it for me at all. And I've become that way about Shakeology. I mean, it's $3.30 a day or $4.30 a day. I believe in it. I believe it enriches people's lives. So ideas, I'm moving back to the TED Talk book and the idea of sales and the idea of communicating. Ideas, and if you have pen and paper and want to take notes, I love that. I always take notes on every call I listen to. Ideas are only as good as the actions that follow the communication of those ideas. I'm going to read it one more time. Ideas are only as good as the actions that follow the communication of those ideas. So Talk Like TED is divided into 3 parts. And again, it's about speaking with persuasion. It's about effective communication. Part 1, which is what we're going to spend the most amount of time on tonight, is emotional. Part 2, which we'll spend not as much time on tonight, is novel. And part 3 is memorable. So I want to say those again, and if you're taking notes, and I know Embers isn't because she's driving home, if you're taking notes, they are, once again, emotional, novel, and memorable. So if you're writing, I want you to write down next to emotional, they touch my heart. They touch my heart. For novel, I want you to write down, they teach me something new. They teach me something new. And memorable, they present content in a way that I'll never forget. Memorable, they present content in a way I'll never forget. So in talking about presenting a product, a program, our opportunity, in communicating, emotional, novel, and memorable. We need to touch hearts, we need to teach new things, and we need to be unforgettable. So again, we're going to think about your posts. Think about your posts. Think about your challenge group. Think about your invites. And if you're brand new tonight and you're listening to the recording or you're on, I'm gonna have some special words for you as well, because it is different when you're brand new. Things are a little bit different. So again, we'll spend the most amount of time on the first point, emotional. Are you grabbing heartstrings? Think about the way you do your business and you conduct yourself. And I know we're mostly on social media. Sometimes we're on the phone. Sometimes it's face-to-face. Think about all those encounters that you have. Think about the graphics you use and the words you select. Are you grabbing heartstrings? Are people grabbing yours? I know that I was talking to Emily a few weeks ago about one of the coaches on her team, and I don't know really details, and I didn't ask permission to share, so I'll be really vague. Emily was so urgent about the fact that she wanted this coach to give up, to be able to walk away from a pizza delivery job. And you could feel Emily's heartstrings through the phone. Like I wanted this coach to be able to quit her pizza delivery job after just hearing Emily talk about it. Are you grabbing heartstrings? Are people grabbing yours? We need to dig deep to identify our unique, meaningful connection to sharing our product and our opportunity. Passion leads to mastery, and sharing is nothing without it. So that's another one that you might want to write down. Passion leads to mastery, and sharing is nothing without it. Keep in mind, it might not be obvious. This book had so many amazing stories and anecdotes. One of them right away in the beginning of this chapter was about this woman that had lost her legs. And she gives this speech, a TED Talk, about prosthetics. And man, it was powerful. But underneath it all, her passion was not about prosthetics and what they had done for her life. Her passion was about unlocking human potential. The owner, creator, whatever you call it, of Starbucks, his passion is not coffee. It's not coffee. His passion is creating a third space in people's lives that isn't home and isn't the office. That's an in-between. So, your true passion is not superfoods. You might love them and they might be great for you, but unearth it. And if you haven't in a long time, unearth it again. We just did our last new coach training and Dory was in it, and I was hoping she'd be on tonight. I don't see her name on the screen. We require that they post a video about their why, and she posted hers, and I was like, no, more, no, deeper. I want more. It's not about superfood. It's not just about helping people. There's more. Why? And she did. She dug deeper. You cannot inspire others. Write this down, note takers. You cannot inspire others unless you are inspired. You cannot inspire others unless you're inspired. So what is it? It's not superfoods. Your enthusiastic, passionate, meaningful connection to what we do. Your enthusiastic, passionate, meaningful connection. Passion mobilizes a person's energy and changes his or her commitment to their goal. I'm going to read a couple of really quick sections and check the time. Little TED note here. What makes your heart sing? Ask yourself, what makes my heart sing? Your passion is not a passing interest or even a hobby. A passion is something that is intensely meaningful and core to your identity. Once you identify what your passion is, can you say that it influences your daily activities? Can you incorporate it into what you do professionally? Your true passion should be the subject of your communications and will serve to truly inspire your audience. And we do have an audience. Quote, I believe that the best way to communicate with anyone is to first check the quality of your motivation. Is my motivation selfish? Is my benevolence aimed at just a few or a great number? For short-term or long-term good? Once we have clear motivation, then communication flows easily. If your only goal, you guys, listen, so good. If your only goal is to make a short sale or elevate your stature, maybe rank, you might fail to connect with your audience and you'll place a lot of pressure on yourself. If, however, your goal is more altruistic, giving your audience information to help them live better lives, you'll make a deeper connection and feel more comfortable in your role while doing it. So to unleash the master within, you have to identify your deepest passion. Part 2, so that was emotional, and that was just a cursory glance at it. The book digs so deep into it in a beautiful way because it is talking about the heart. I'm going to spend a little bit less time on the next 2 sections. Part 2 is novelty. Are you, so I asked you if you're pulling at people's heartstrings, are you teaching something new? Are you original? Are you different? Those of you that are science-y, like Julie and Bobby and Embers and all my little, like, we have like this contingency of science geeks. I love it. There's a huge section on neuroscience in this section that was so fascinating to me. So according to the neuroscientists interviewed in Talk Like TED, novelty is the single most effective way to capture someone's attention. Okay, did that sink? I have to read it again. Novelty, being new, being different, novelty is the single most effective way to capture someone's attention. So are your posts novel? Ever know someone that posts too many selfies? It's not novel. It's not novel. Unless, I mean, sometimes selfies can add value. They really, truly can. I know. I've been guilty of it, you guys. I'm not like pointing fingers. I've been guilty of it. It lacks novelty. It's white freaking noise. My brain only pauses long enough to say there's another selfie from that person. So we stopped looking. So Kristen at the fair that we just did this health fair thing, she said to me during the day, because we had lots of time to talk, she said, I see that you don't post 3 to 5 times a day. I'm going to let my dog out. Oh, I almost dropped the computer. Hold on. I'm coming back. I'm a single mom tonight, so I had to do that myself. Okay. Kristen said, I see you don't post 3 to 5 times a day like we're counseled to, you know? And I said, I don't always have 3 to 5 novel things to say every day. I just don't. And less is more in my book. And if it doesn't pass the test in my brain, was it emotional? Was it novel? Was it unforgettably memorable? If it doesn't pass one of those tests, I'm not going to post it just to be posting something. That dilutes my brand. So I don't always have something. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. I need to say it again because I love you guys and I love the team. I'm going to say it again. If only coaches are liking your posts, and this is to none of you guys actually on this call tonight, but it's just to the team, hopefully, that listens to the recording as well. If it's a red flag, it's a litmus test. Like, it's probably not novel, memorable, or unforgettable, or emotional. If it's only coaches that are liking it. And of course, you're going to have lots of coaches like your posts. So that's normal. That's not bad. But if it's only coaches, you're not engaging how we want and need to be. Only that which is truly unique and unexpected can stand out. Listen to this, you guys. The brain cannot ignore it. Only that which is truly unique and unexpected can stand out. The brain cannot ignore novelty. Like, the brain can't. I'm not talking hypothetically. I'm talking like neurologically. So are you novel? This book really teaches how to be novel. It teaches how to use humor without joking. It teaches how to create wow moments. Are you novel? And then lastly, and I'll hardly spend any time at all on this point, and then I'll conclude, memorable. So you may have novel ideas. Remember, novel is the showstopper. Your brain can't ignore it. You might have novel ideas. But if your audience can't recall what you've said or posted, or talked to them about in person, it doesn't matter. So Are you memorable? I'm going to actually start to conclude already, but weave in some different pieces that we've already talked about tonight. So practice relentlessly. Internalize your content so that your delivery sounds like you're talking to a friend. I have to tell you, when I did this health fair shake and share thing on Saturday in Salem, by the way, I got a speeding ticket on my way there, $260. When I got there, I had like butterflies and my stomach was in knots because I was nervous about talking to strangers about Shakeology. Now, I am very well versed and have practiced a lot in talking about it. I'm very confident in talking about it, but something about being there in this health fair, there was other vendors there representing other health product, other stuff, you know, competition and stuff like that, and they felt like butterflies like crazy. And I had Kristen and Nishaba there, so I was like, what if I don't sound good in front of them, you know? So I just was like kind of really nervous sick. But as the day went on, and we talked to person after person after person after person after person, we got so relaxed and conversational. It was the best thing. Plus, so I highly recommend you do something like this, because first of all, if we happen to suck or mess up or flub our words or forget one of the benefits, we actually wrote a little cheat sheet of the benefits of Shakeology and stuff, but it just was so richly valuable in how much practice we got. But the thing is we relaxed. And as we relaxed and became comfortable and became conversational, we were really effective. So if TED Talk says, if voice, gestures, body language are incongruent with your words, your listeners will distrust you. True persuasion occurs only after you build emotional rapport. So practice, record, watch yourself back, vox yourself. So there have been times I've needed to do like speaking things, like I had to give an elevator pitch in front of my master trainer family. So I practiced, it had to be 1 minute and it had to be an elevator pitch. And so I practiced to vox. You can vox yourself. And I did it over and over and over. Well, first, before I knew you could do that, I would vox my husband. And I'm like, don't listen to it. I'm going to vox you, but don't listen to it. I just want to be able to play it back. And then I realized you can actually vox yourself. That was like 2.5 years ago. But anyway, vox yourself. You are talking about Shakeology. Practice, like seriously practice and play it back. Practice and play it back until your voice becomes relaxed and conversational. So to conclude the part about being memorable, are you sharing in a way that your audience won't forget? I mean, there's some posts from some of our top coaches that I'll never forget. Some images I've seen on Instagram from some of our leaders and from some of you guys that are just outstanding, and I'll never forget them. A note for new coaches that are listening, you guys are kind of in a different position. You kind of need to follow and duplicate. So in our new coach training, we list the top 50 coaches, and we ask you to kind of watch them and sort of duplicate a little bit about what they're doing, because they're doing something right on social. But then eventually this metamorphosis will occur at different rates for each of us as we're new, where our own brand starts to kind of slowly come out. My brand still is. Like, I just, even this brand new year, I'm like, oh, that is totally part of my brand. I need to sometimes post about that more often, more regularly. So our brand develops in time. New coaches just know that right now your role is just to kind of pattern yourself off of those that have been there before and are doing it well. So in conclusion, great communicators reach your head and your heart. So do you grab hearts? Are you teaching, presenting, posting, having live conversations, something new and novel and noteworthy, something that some people's brains can't ignore? And are you doing it in a way that they're not going to forget? The 3 vital behaviors I was thinking today, I think about them every day, I think about them all the time. They are like 3 legs on a table. I actually believe there should be 5 vital behaviors, 4 being live events and 5 being never quit. But let's talk about the company's 3 vital behaviors. Inviting, being proof that the product works, and personal development. So if those are 3 legs of a table, that table is not going to stand if you're not doing all three. So in terms of this team call tonight and the topic of presenting or communicating, sharing, that really ties into inviting more than the other two. Because you can do personal development and not really share about it, and you can work on your own health and be a proof that the product works and not communicate about it. But the sharing and inviting involves our communication. And communication is so complex and so very powerful. So that's when we talk about eating that frog and we talk about doing the hard stuff and inviting. I want you guys to, if you don't have a personal development book to read, I really recommend this one. I'm telling you, it's an interesting read. It's a good read. And it's not just for people that want to be, like, I don't aspire to be on a big public, actually that's not true, I do actually aspire to lead a national wake-up call and to be on a big stage. But even if you don't aspire to do that, just in the way that you talk to your customers, in the way that you run challenge groups, in the way that you present yourself on social, and all those things, it is keeping the head up. It is what Mr. Holmgren would say to me. Get your damn head up. Get your head up. You're good at all these things, but it's worthless. It's worthless when you can't even see the court. So that's it. That's my wrap. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and unmute. Or any comments? Love to hear them. You guys got nothing.
Just, anybody who's might have a room for a couple of people for Team Con. Connie and I are looking for a team to get out to. So let you guys know.
Good to know. Anybody have room? Anybody not spoken for? Yeah, Dustin. Oh, he's typing. Oh, good, Dustin. Michael, he can't. You have to look in the chat bar. And Beth Kruzicki?
Yes, I see.
Okay, cool. I was going to tell you one other thing I've learned about this book that's going to make you guys really happy. Really happy. The most effective speeches are 18 minutes long. Not 15, not 20, not an hour. They're 18 minutes long. They're 18 minutes long. So I'm shortening our team calls. So that's obviously, I tend to be long-winded. So I'm trying to make a valiant effort. And I haven't led a team call for a while, but I'm trying, my goal is to make them 15 minutes long, which allows me, 3 minutes of talking too much. 18.
Hey, Alan, what's the name of the book?
Talk Like Ted. Look.
Talk Like Ted.
And it says the 9 public speaking secrets of the world's top minds. So listen, I've actually been reading this for a long time. I've marked it up like crazy. And those of you that teach classes or have been on in any of the last team calls that I've led, I apply this. I apply everything I'm reading out of it to everything I can. Like one of them is always start everything with a story. So I've led every team call these last 3 months with a story, whether it was about my grandmother with Wi-Fi or whatever. When I got on the stage in Portland at Super Saturday, I started with a 3-sentence story. So kind of cool. I feel like it's really helping. Did Embers get off the phone? Is she still there? So I don't know. Here, I'm gonna stop recording. Oh, I can't. Then Embers will think I'm talking crap about her if I do it like that. So have you guys ever seen I do it like when I'm nervous, people like touch their face and their hair. I was going to say Amy Silverman does it a lot. That's why I wanted to stop the recording. Amy Silverman does it a lot. When she's leading a call, she's like, you know, touches her hair and her face. I do it too. And Embers does it. It's like a natural thing. He talks about it. He talks about how and why. I mean, it's unbelievable. So when we're doing videos and stuff like that, there's a lot in there. There's a lot. Emily, you'd like it. Jake, you'd like it. Julie, you'd love it. Pruitt's get it. Tracy's in the dark. Can't hardly see her. Katia, you'd like it. Carolyn's on. Yay, team Live Your Best Life. Well represented on the team call tonight. Nick, how are you? Where's Luke?
How's everybody's hammer and chisel going? Connie's tearing me up on this thing.
It's kicking my ass.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with her.
Same here, man.
All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up.